have to decline the motion, and I seek a call.
Mr. Chair.
I call the Honourable Member Chris Hipkins.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, very happy to take another call on the title and commencement of the Crown Entities Reform Bill. I have to say I'm somewhat surprised to be taking another call, but very happy to help out the House in this particular because I didn't get the opportunity to complete all of what I was intending to say earlier on, which will come to me in a minute. But I want to talk a little bit. I'll tell you what. I'll talk a little bit more about commencement because this was something that I began to. I just sort of glossed over the issue of the royal assent. The royal assent earlier on, and what the royal assent might actually mean. And so I'm referring particularly to my colleague Trevor Mallard's supplementary order paper in clause 2 there, where under 2 commencement, the first part, he talks about part 3 comes into force on the day 3 days after the date on which this Act receives the royal assent. Now, there are many things that can complicate when that might actually be. Because, as I've described before, in New Zealand's constitution there is no absolute requirement for the Governor-General to sign a piece of legislation that this Parliament has passed. Now, it is convention that the Governor-General will sign legislation on the recommendation of... Now, Trevor Mallard will help me here. On the recommendation normally of the Prime Minister, who would be the chair of the Executive Council. No?
The Governor-General chairs...
Oh, the Governor-General chairs the Executive Council.
But a minister, any minister, normally the Prime Minister or the...
That's right.
Sometimes the Attorney-General signs off the recommendation.
That's right, but the convention is that the Governor-General takes their advice from the Prime Minister, and if the Prime Minister was not there, then it would be... It could be any minister, couldn't it? Any member of the Executive Council.
Any minister can act for any other minister.
And any minister can act for any other minister. Well, there's an interesting piece of history. So Trevor Mallard made the recommendation to the Governor-General to sign the prostitution law reform piece of legislation. So basically the Governor-General receives the recommendation, and the convention and within our constitutional arrangements is that once the Parliament, through the ministers, once the ministers have recommended that a piece of legislation be signed, the Governor-General will sign it, but they don't have to do that. And they have a reserve power to refuse to sign legislation that has been passed by the democratically elected Parliament. Now, that could be seen as a strength or a weakness in our constitutional arrangement. Some constitutionalists would argue that because we have a unicameral Parliament, we don't have an upper house, we have a very simple legislative process, that actually having some check within our constitutional arrangements, i.e. the Governor-General having the power to refuse to sign legislation, is a useful thing. On the other hand, people could argue that the Governor-General has no mandate whatsoever. The Governor-General is not elected. They are appointed by the Queen, the head of state, normally on the recommendation of the Prime Minister. But there is absolutely, people would argue they don't have a mandate to be determining which legislation should or should not be signed and come into law, that in fact that is the prerogative of the elected Parliament. But our constitutional arrangements as they stand at the moment do give the Governor-General, the unelected effective de facto head of state, or the person acting on behalf of the head of state who is also unelected, it gives the Governor-General the prerogative to not sign laws. And so therefore the issue around the date on which a bill may receive the royal assent can be a little ambiguous. Now, if the Governor-General in New Zealand, for example, were to refuse to sign legislation, the government could simply wait until the Governor-General was out of the country. And they could wait till the Governor-General was out of the country, and they could then go to the Chief Justice, who is if I'm correct, the administrator of the government in the absence of the Governor-General, and they could get the Chief Justice to sign the legislation, and that would therefore trigger the legislation and bring the legislation into force. So I think that it would actually be cleaner for the legislation and for Trevor Mallard's SOP if in fact Part 3 were to come into force on a specified date. and I think the 1st of July 2015 might in fact be a more appropriate date than 3 days after the date on which this Act receives the royal assent, which at this point we don't know when that's going to be, because if the debate on the committee stages, for example, continues beyond more than another 7 or 8 minutes, then in fact the committee stage won't be finished tonight. The House will then have to go back into committee on a future date to reconsider this, and therefore again we're not entirely sure when finally the government may move this up the priority list for it to be passed, because of course we're about to move into the budget.
Mr. Chairman.
I call the honourable member Katrina back.
I move that the question be now put.
The question is that the question be now put. As many of that opinion will please say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party vote called for. Party vote is called for. The clerk will please conduct a party vote. Thank you.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes opposed.
Green Party.
12 opposed.
New Zealand First.
8 votes opposed.
Māori Party.
3 votes in favour.
Mana.
1 opposed.
Act New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Any other votes?
Honourable members, the ayes are 64, the noes are 55. The motion will be put. The question is that clause 1 stand part. All those in favour please say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. Noes have it. Ayes have it. Party vote called for. Please conduct the party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes opposed.
Green Party.
12 opposed.
New Zealand First.
8 votes opposed.
Māori Party.
3 votes in favour.
Mana.
1 opposed.
Act New Zealand.
Point of order. I'd like to change the vote for the Maori Party to 3 votes opposed.
Thank
please.
you. Act New Zealand.
Already owe you one.
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Any other votes?
Honourable members, the ayes are 61, the noes are 58. Clause 1 will stand part. We now have an amendment.
I wasn't clear about the
Sorry,
vote.
Denise Roach.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The previous vote, I wasn't clear about what the result was. Could you please say it again? I thought I'd heard you said a different figure from what I added up.
The vote just taken was 61-58.
The one before
The
that,
one
sir.
before that was 64-55.
I don't think that's right, sir.
Sorry? Speaking to the point of order, the Honourable Member Michael Woodhouse.
If I may clarify for the member, the Maori Party is voting in favour of, with the government rather, on procedural motions, which was the motion to put the vote, and therefore they voted in favour of it, but opposed the part. So that may clarify why it was different.
Thank you. Thank you for the explanation. Honourable members, we have an amendment in the name of the Honourable Trevor Mallard, and it's an amendment to replace Clause 2 set out on SOP number 32. All those in favour please say aye. The contrary, no. The noes have it. Ayes have it. Party vote called for. The clerk will please conduct the party vote.
New Zealand National.
59 votes opposed.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes in favour.
Green Party.
12 in favour.
New Zealand First.
8 votes in favour.
Māori Party.
3 votes opposed.
Mana.
1 in favour.
Act New Zealand.
1 opposed.
United Future.
1 opposed.
Honourable members, the ayes are 55, the noes are 64. The motion is not agreed to, or the amendment is not agreed to. The question now is that Clause 2 stand part. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party vote called for. Clerk will please conduct the party vote. Thank you.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
34 votes opposed.
Green Party.
12 opposed.
New Zealand First.
8 votes opposed.
Māori Party.
3 votes opposed.
Mana. Mana.
1 opposed. 1 opposed. Sorry.
Act New Zealand.
1 in favour.
United Future.
1 in favour.
Any other votes?
Honourable members, the ayes are 61, the noes are 58. Clause 2 will stand part.
Mr Chair.
I call the Honourable Minister Jonathan Coleman.
I move supplementary order paper number 30, dividing the bill.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. I call the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Chairman...
Point of order, was it?
Sorry?
Point of order?
No, this is a debatable motion.
A debatable point? Okay, yeah, I call the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. I'm surprised that there might be any doubt whether or not this should be debated